Oh, man, well, I'm glad to be back, you guys. Rain has ruined our last 2 race weekends, but it could ruin this week's as well. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Definitely don't want any of that to happen. On tonight's show, we'll be doing some driver interviews. We'll be talking to Blayne Murphy, driver of the 21M factory stock. We'll be showing off his ride. Man, it is looking sharp this year. We got race updates, and of course, we're going to let you know where and when you can attend live events in your area, interviews, information, and fun on this episode of the Dirt Talk Nation.
There from the start by his side, and through all the scars and pain he'd hide, he worked extra hours to make ends meet, dragging to the shop flat dead on his feet. She never dreamed it would be this hard, nothing comes between a man and his racing car. She said we're gonna be a mile down a dead-end street, when you know tracks like that you can never be beat. He knew the love would win top prize. Cries and grease stains in his eyes. There's no other love between a road and a tire. Nothing comes between a man and his racing car.
Oh, back here on the Dirt Talk Nation. It's been a few weeks. We had some softball action. That intro song right there, that is the official theme song of the Dirt Talk Nation for the 2024 season. It's called Racing Car by the Kenneth Waters Band. Find them on Spotify. It's out on Spotify, so you go by, guys, and just stream it over and over, man. Just make sure that you show some love to the Kenneth Waters Band for Racing Car. You can also see, maybe see your car, maybe see your friends in the official music video posted over on the Dirt Talk Nation YouTube page. Go check that out as well. I do want to apologize for all you folks that love racing. I love racing. I love racing. I love it. But I was committed to the girls at Roy City High School to call their softball. They made it to the playoffs, and so most of the schedules are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but they had to go and do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we had to preempt the show for a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, their season came to an end last Friday, but fortunately, that brings us back to the Dirt Talk Nation. I'm so super excited about that. Just want to give a shout out to the amazing group of girls over in Roy City. Now, first, before we get to Blayne, we're going to do a couple of things. First and foremost, let's look at this right here. Hold on. Let me share the screen. This is what we call the weather report on AccuWeather. It is showing here that the next 2 days. Look at this right here, showing flash flooding and rain for tonight and potentially flash flooding and rain for tomorrow. We hope that this is wrong. We hope that this is wrong and does not come to fruition, because we want to go racing, man. We want to go out there and, spin those tires in the clay and have a good time on Saturday night out at RPM Speedway or whatever speedway you go racing at. That's what we want to do. But right now, still looking a little bit threatened by weather later tonight and tomorrow. So, we'll keep an eye on that, keep an eye on everything that goes into that. And I do want to say, we're going to take that down because I just want to let you guys know that that our weather report and a lot of other things that we do is brought to you by our good friends at Victory Fuel. Throttle Punch is my favorite. I'm actually going to pop this open because I need it now. So one of the things that, for those of you who don't know, I had a stroke last summer, so now I take a crap ton of pills, and I just can't drink enough water and electrolytes to stay hydrated. So what do? I supplement with Victory Fuel that has all those electrolytes and all that good stuff in it. So we'll get to that here in a minute. Let me drink. I don't want to drink on the air. It sounds really weird, but I will be drinking that here probably throughout the show. But I do want to say thank you for everybody who does comment on the show. Brandon Leopolis, what's up, Will? Glad to have you back. Thanks so much, Brandon. And Mama D on there. She's tuned in because her grandboy will be joining us here in just a minute. I do also want to talk about all the things that you can do to support like our show. If you go over to victoryfuel.com, if Throttle Punch is your favorite or not, you can go over to victoryfuel.com, use the promo code TheWillRiggs. You'll get 10% off your order. That supports me, that supports the show, and it supports Victory Fuel, which is it's super, super tasty. I was glad when I got me a case. It was really, really good. And so let's look at, I got to change screens now. I got to take this one down, and actually we're going to remove this one, and then we're going to do this. Stop that screen sharing, and then we're going to, where's the other screen share there? Let me get right over here on Race On Texas. We're going to share this right here. So coming up this Friday night, you got the Batesville Motor Speedway is going to have actually Thursday and Friday. Thursday is free, as it's probably trials out there. But they're going to have the Comp Cam Super Dirt Series at Batesville Motor Speedway. If you can't make it there, cool. You know what you can do on Friday night? Since, here in North Texas, we mostly race on Saturday. You can actually watch it on Race On. I do love Race On. I love the hat. You can actually get really, really cool swag like the hat I'm wearing from them. You can also tune at Heart of Texas Speedway. You know what? Friday night, I just may be tuned in to the Demo Derby right here on Race On. I want to check that out. Down at Boot Hill Speedway, they'll have the Battle at Boot Hill. You can watch that live right here on Race On if you can't make it to any of those tracks. We'll talk about what's going down Saturday, May 11th. Here in just a little bit. Of course, here in North Texas, we can drop this off real quick. Here in North Texas, I will be at RPM Speedway because that's where I work. I work there and calling races and having a good time. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and joining in. Thanks, Chris Kennedy. Thanks, Aaron. Everybody's doing good. Surviving out here in this cruel, mean old world where rain continues to threaten our race fun weekends, which none of us like that. And so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring on my dude Blayne. Hold on, let's get Blayne on here. Blayne, what's happening, my man?
What's up?
Oh man, let me do this here real quick. Let me do this one. But look, now we're all big on the screen. That's awesome. So Blayne, oddly enough, I met Blayne doing something completely different from dirt track racing. Blayne and I actually share the same hobby of drag racing slot cars. And, he's like, hey, man, look, I also race. And I'm like, hey, I used to be the voice at Devil's Bowl and RPM. And then somewhere along the last few months, I got the job calling races at RPM again. And, rain has kept you off the racetrack at RPM, Blayne. But hopefully, are you guys looking to get out there this weekend if it's not raining?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try to go to RPM on Saturday night, and I think we're gonna try to go to Waco on Friday. So past weekend we decided to make the trip out to I-37 Speedway out past San Antonio, which was quite a drive from us. It was about 5 hours. But I mean, that's what we got to do. I was telling everybody all week long, like, hey, if we have to drag this car to Canada, I will, because I just want to race it. We got it done. It's finally done. I want to go somewhere. So
now look, that's what we ended up doing. I'm going to share this screen real quick because I just want to show everybody. Look at this freaking ride, man. Look at this. Look at that, man. That car is slick.
I appreciate it.
Man, tons of great sponsors jump on to make that happen for you, and it looks sharp, man. The white with the hot pink and black is just it just pops, man. Who came up with the design for the car?
Yeah, so we got a rap guy that we use out of Louisiana. His name's Jeremy Collins, and he always does killer work. I've always been Clyde Dunn Jr. He's always had good-looking cars. I've always digged the flames and all that stuff. And this year, I've always wanted a white car. I've had a blue car for 4 years. That's just the way that it came. Sheet metal's too much money to completely just change the color and dash and stuff. So we just kind of rolled with the blue. But finally this year we had a new car done, and I was like, yeah, I want white. I want to do it some kind of 90s colors with the fade and the neons. But hopefully it lasts longer than more than 2 or 3 nights. But
well, don't bang into people, bro.
I know it. It's hard, man. It's hard.
Quit banging and clanging it, but they say rubbing's racing, right?
That's right. Yeah. We first night we went out to I-37. It's got a couple scratches on the left side, which isn't a good thing. They say if the left side's beat up, you're in the way. If the right side's beat up, you're fast. So we got a couple dings on the left side. We definitely got some work to do with the car. Try to get it a little bit better, but we'll get there. It's new car blues.
I know you guys have been out to RPM a couple times this season just to watch. So I'm just going to ask candidly, how am I doing out there, man? I'm going to tell you this. When the racing season started, keep in mind, it's been 5 years since I called races. Okay,
Oh.
5. So getting out there to call races, I was so nervous. And there's so many different racers than there were 5 years ago. So trying to learn everybody's car number and name. Oh my gosh, dude. I was so nervous. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, I think you're killing it. I think, we haven't missed a race at RPM. I mean, haven't been able to race because the car hasn't been done, but I've been in the stands at just about every night, and I think you've been killing it. There's no way I can announce. I know it's hard. I know that's way, way too much going on at one time. There's no way I can do it, but I think you're doing a good job.
I appreciate that. And it's, it's hard because it's like, okay, for me, I just have mobility issues since I had the stroke. So getting around is kind of hard, but Steven Neighbors, man, to his credit, he brings a, we call it a golf cart for me. So I can get around and talk to the drivers and have something to talk about in the drive stand, get sponsors and all that good jazz that everybody wants to hear. But it's been an experience because like, I feel like the track is so much faster than it was a couple of years ago. I mean, it's certainly not. I mean, Steven has done an amazing job of upgrading RPM Speedway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I have to wear like long pants and a hoodie in the booth because the air conditioning is so cold.
Yeah.
I'm up there freezing. I'm like just sitting there like this, and I'm just calling. I got like my hands are in my armpits. I'm just trying to stay warm, man. But it's a good time. And then, that we had the, what do we have out there? I can't remember the big car. Oh, the high limits racing cars were out there. The big, the 410 sprints, man. That was an awesome night of racing, and in the modifieds. What is your favorite class to watch when you're not racing?
Man, honestly, probably the limiteds. I think, there's a lot of talent in them. And two, they're still fairly, except for the B-mods. I'm not a big fan of the B-mods. That's just my opinion. I like to go watch, the Southern style limited modifieds. They get out, they get after it. It's kind of like a factory stock with a big motor and groove tires. And I think they're just fun to watch, and, like you were talking about, RPM, it's always been my favorite track. I mean, Devil's Bowl's always been cool. I like racing there. But to me, like if I'm going to watch on and go to RPM, it's tight, it's good racing. It's a lot of North Texas OGs that are, been doing it for a long time. And I think it's fun going out to RPM and watching. And Steven's done a great job, doing the lighting and whatnot. That was one thing I always noticed racing there is that the lighting was never great. And now you feel like you're on a NASCAR track. They got lights going all the way down the back straightaway and everything. But I think it's really cool. Like you're talking about freezing out, same way in the bathrooms too. I don't know if you've been in the bathrooms, but it is immaculate. He's done a great job with that track, and that's where we'll be this season.
Man, I'll tell you what's interesting. It's so funny because, of course, my wife and I she grew up racing kart and everything else like that. And she was like, this is easily the nicest racetrack bathroom I've ever been in my life. And one of my favorite things about the air conditioning is in the middle of the summer when it's a bazillion degrees outside, dude, for those ladies who are watching, the men's room can smell absolutely atrocious during when it's 105 degrees outside. So praise the Lord for air conditioning.
For sure, they do a good job. I'm telling you. Hey, I worked out at Devil's Bowl in like 2019-ish. When I was in middle school, I worked the summer out there. I made like I can't remember like $8 an hour or something like that. Working out there with Lanny Roston. It was a really good time, good experience. But one of the things was cleaning the bathrooms every week, and that sucked. So, yeah, I'm telling you, it was terrible. But no, RPM, they're doing a really good job. I love that track. That's definitely where we'll be at. I mean, every time they're racing, we're going to try to be there. As long as the car's ready, we'll be there.
So we had a couple of people like, that's a really cool car. Hey, Fidgety, or if you're still watching, is there still an echo on Blayne? I don't think there is, but I think I fixed that already. But
I did hear it in the beginning, but I don't hear it now.
No, now, yeah, I think I cleaned it up. I think cleaned it up. Of course, Ms. D, she's like, that's a cool car. Of course it is.
She's not partial or anything,
Brandon Leopolis, I'm not a fan of the B mods, but if you can't beat them, join them. Man, I tell you what, the B mods got super popular. I had to go look up and say, like, what the F is a B mod? Like, I had to go look it up because they're super popular, like everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it's a B mod, and then they're like a Southern Sport mod. I'm like, is it the same car? And like, there's only subtle differences between the B mod and this Southern Sport mod. And
Yeah, the biggest thing really is just the suspension. I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty much a modified. Instead of being a 4-link car, it's a 3-link car. It's like an old school modified, but it's just a whole different animal. I mean, especially you stick them out there with the Southern style limiteds, they're just not. I mean, and people have their own opinions, but you watch it Rocket USRA tracks where they're sanctioned by USRA and allowing the B mods to run with the limiteds or the Southern style limiteds. The B mods are just walking off, man. I mean, they're fast. They're fast. I think they need their own class and just keep it that way.
Well, I think they get their own class at a lot of tracks too, and not necessarily in Texas, man. Like I was looking at Jack Sarton, and he went to freaking Kansas for a huge B mod thing up there that I think Kevin Rogers put on, and I'm like, man, it looks really cool. And one of the things I love about racing is that there's something for everybody.
Right.
I'm a fan of the factory stocks. I think the factory stocks are killer. I think that they're probably the closest in competition from one car to the other because but I'm also a big fan of the limited modifieds. Out of the limited modified drivers, who's your favorite to watch?
Probably Tommy Davis Jr. for sure.
Oh, he can get out there, dude. He
Yeah,
can get around
he's old school. He's good, man. Watching him work traffic is like art. He's perfect. He knows how to race door to door with somebody without just taking them out. He's good.
How about your favorite modified driver?
Oh, man, I don't know. Especially running 2 whole seasons at Devil's Bowl, you hear Clyde Dunn Jr.'s name a whole lot.
Well, he can get around the track pretty fast.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, he's always fun to watch, man. He was doing really good there. And then Cody Smith, they had him driving that 7-Eleven car. He was always fast. But yeah, there's a lot of really solid modified drivers for sure.
All right, now, and who would you say one of your? Do you have any rivals on the track in the factory stock classes?
Not really. I've got so many buddies. Over the weekend, we went down there to I-37. We went out and kind of in our little group. We had a couple guys running limiteds, and then it was me, Michael Dabney Jr. He was running a factory stock, and then Dylan Kidwell was there. And Michael was fast this season. He's really solid no matter where he goes. He's winning. So I'm trying to hang out with him, get some secrets. No, not really.
The last normal race night, normal race program night, Michael Dabney Jr. won the factory stock feature, and he made an amazing pass. I'm like, he was in third, and he went up high, or actually he was in fourth, and he went up high in turn 4. And it's like the waters parted because he just basically hooked up coming out of 4. And as all the other cars split, he just went right between them all, and it was gone. He was gone, and he ended up winning that race by literally like a half a track. I'm like, man. And then I watched, I love, by the way, Race On. I don't know if you have your own subscription. I'm sure you do. But I went back and watched Heart of Texas Speedway from the night before, and he won the night before at Heart of Texas Speedway down in El Mott. And he raced a good race down there, too. So, man, I never saw him race before because he probably, kind of came up probably in the last 5 years. But man, I was really, really impressed with how he just got around the track, and he avoided traffic and used lap traffic to his advantage, which is a really, really key component of staying in front on a track when there's not a lot of cautions.
Yeah, and I had seen on when somebody had shared the Race On video, he had diamond down and passed Pritchett for the lead at RPM. I think it was Jacob Perkle that said he was playing chess and everyone else was playing checkers. I was
that movie was amazing. It was amazing. I think I even called it live there on the track. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, like it freaked me out. Like I'm like, this dude is just killing it out here.
Oh yeah.
And he split it out. So let's do a little backstory. So you grew up, you raced karts, right?
I did, yeah.
We ran Cartway bit or what?
Yeah, we ran outlaw carts for, I don't know. I started when I was 9, ran up till I was like 15, and then we just kind of, I don't know, the outlaw carts were kind of not falling off, but around here they're just not as big, And I mean, as far as big cars go, I mean, there's of course been a few tracks closed down, but there's a lot of places to race. Like you can go, I mean, anywhere. There's probably 6 or 7 tracks within an hour of the house, and so the factory stocks, it was fairly cheap to get into. I mean, none of them cheap. But 4 or 5 years ago when I got into it, it was cheaper than the other classes, and so we decided to get one and we kind of stuck with it.
Something happened in the last few years that just drove the price of everything up. But and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just the price of everything. Every single component of anything and everything has been driven up the last 3 years. If I'm being exactly, if we just want to be exact with it, 3.5 years, it's driven up. But once you get in and you got the flavor, you got the taste in your mouth of that competition on the track, man. And you started racing factory stocks. Was it before you got to high school or right when you got to high school?
It was my freshman year. I didn't even have my driver's license yet.
You didn't have no driver's license out here racing big cars.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I remember when I went to go get my driver's test, I was like, man, I made 100 laps around a racetrack, and you're gonna have me out here parallel parking? Like, what is it? But we did okay. I mean, the first season, we did all right. It was definitely a change going from a 300-pound go-kart to a 3,000-pound car, but I don't know. We're figuring it out. We're still learning. I mean, you can't do enough learning. Like
I don't think you ever stop learning when you're on the racetrack, do you?
No, never. I mean, as far as setup goes, this year we got a brand new car, and that was a learning experience in its own. Every year. I mean, we've had the same car for 4 years, and so you do like normal maintenance during the winter. You pull the motor out, put a body on it, whatever. But we rolled this new car in the shop, and it's just a bare frame and body. It's kind of like, whoa, where do you start, But
yeah, it can be overwhelming, man. It can be overwhelming. Like it rolls in there and it's got nothing on it, and you're like, oh my God, how are we ever going to get ready for a race season?
Yeah, it was kind of like a where do we start kind of deal. My dad's done it before. I mean, like late 90s, early 2000s, he's built cars from the ground up and put them together and whatnot. And he's kind of like, there's not a whole lot to it. But when you're standing there looking at it, you got a pile full of parts and a car sitting there, a frame, not a full car, just a frame. You're kind of like, man. But it came together fairly quick. But that's kind of the thing now is just trying to find all the little stuff. The car ran, I mean, as far as the car itself and suspension and all that good stuff, it was pretty good. We got a brake problem we need to figure out and a fuel problem.
Don't ride the brakes, man. Don't ride the brakes.
I know, right?
Don't drive with 2 feet.
I know. Yeah, hey, who needs brakes? You use the car in front of you. So,
So I'm like, so look, I was keeping these alerts, right? Lightning detected near your location. Yeah, we don't want any of that lightning or rain. So let's just keep it moving, rain. We don't want anything. We don't want nothing to do with any of that. We want to be able to race this weekend and have a good time. Jesse Hooten says my guy still looks 12.
Appreciate you, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse, we appreciate you tuning in.
Working on the mustache, Sean, okay?
You're trying to get in there. You had to get real close to the camera. You're like,
I know. Hey, let the light hit it just right. Let me move the light.
You got to go like this. And you turn the flashlight on your phone on just so you can do like this. Just go get on there just a little bit, man.
I'm feeling it. It's going.
So Papa G helps you out quite a bit too, yeah?
Oh, man. If it wasn't for him, we couldn't do it. Anytime, like tomorrow night, racing slot cars, he's there every Thursday night. We're like, hey, we're going to work on the car, whatever. I'll be there. He'll stop whatever he's doing, and he'll be there. And I can't thank him enough for it, man. If it wasn't for him and my dad and everybody else that helps us, we couldn't do it. But yeah, him and me, mom both. They're a big part of what we do, and we couldn't do it without them.
I do miss racing. It's just like right now I'm still trying to, this mobility issue and nerve pain is like I miss drag racing, man. It's a lot of walking. For those of you who've never been drag racing slot cars, like you're literally walking 60 feet at a time, like over and over again, from one end to the other, and just walking in general is kind of tough right now. But I got that cane action going on. It's always fun moving around in public, What's really like so Katie says she doesn't care, right? But I get all self-conscious when like, oh, let's go to Walmart. Yeah, I'm gonna need that cart, bro. I can't walk Walmart. I just can't do it. It's a huge place, but then I feel all awkward, like people are judging me for riding in that damn cart, I'm like, I need one of those. I need one of those for the racetrack, and just be like, meet me, just drive back and forth.
There you go. Little golf cart or something. You're good.
Just little. I mean, the golf cart at the racetrack is super helpful, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I can't thank Steven and those guys enough for bringing along that the 6-seater for me to be able to get around and get sponsors and talk to racers. That way I have something fun to talk about. And then maybe get them on the show too. But Wally Beatty says Blayne Murphy is a wheel man.
Not as good as Wally.
Man, I love me some Wally, man. Wally's super cool. When I first started working at the Devil's Bowl, I mentioned that I had a picture of my dad racing at Devil's Bowl, and Walter comes in like 2 weeks later. He's like, "Hey, check it out." I looked it up. He's like the Devil's Bowl historian, right? So he looks it up and shows me where my dad raced and what year and all this other stuff. I'm like, this is so cool.
Cool. It's like a dictionary. I'm pretty sure he does all the background information on the programs that Benny Morris puts out and all that stuff.
Right.
That's pretty cool. He's got all the history about it.
All the knowledge, man. He's been around that for a long, long time. And I'm kind of jealous of Wally getting to go race in Australia, man. How wild is that?
I seen, man. That'll be pretty cool. I'd like to hear more about that. I know the Australian gentleman comes down and runs the Lone Star 600. That's pretty cool.
That, man, the Lone Star 600 came to town for the very first time, I think my first year at the Devil's Bowl in 2017. And, man, it was the wildest thing I've ever seen, man. That, it's just like, why are there 200 cars on the track at the same time? It's insane.
Yeah.
But to watch it's almost like, what they say, it's a train wreck and you can't look away. This is exactly what the Lone Star 600 is like, man. It's wild. Dude, you have to have a big track to do that on because there's so many cars. Like, we could never do the Lone Star 600 at RPM. The track's nowhere near big enough. I mean, I don't even think the Devil's Bowl was barely big enough. Right. So I'm like, I don't know where they have it now, but it's got to be a big track. It's got to be at least a mile track.
Yeah, they're having it down towards Houston at now my mind went blank and I can't think of it, but I know that they're doing it in stages. They're going to break it up into 3 stages, and they've kind of got a like a stage type deal going on. So I think that'll
Houston Motorsports Park.
No, that track closed down. I can't think of it now. It wasn't 105. I can't. remember. I'm sure somebody.
No, it's 105. Mike Meeks Jr. Yeah.
Is it 105? Okay.
And then Brandon says 600 is at 105. It's a small track.
Okay.
And then of course your Meemaw Diana says, I need to go race or I'm not good, very good to be around. If you want to come race at the slot car track, there'll be people who will do your walking for you. Which would be nice. That'd be awesome. It's so crazy, man, because ever since the stroke, man, like all these things have clicked in place for me professionally, right? So I started doing the racetrack and then I started doing the show again. And this time I was like, look, I'm going to do it way different. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it with this amazing, awesome thing they call StreamYard, which allowed people to join from home. So before, when we did the show, I had a studio in downtown Forney. So all the drivers or guests or whatever, they would come to be on the show in studio. And it would be awkward because it'd be like, okay, we're done talking to you now. You can
just sit there and look pretty, no?
And or on this it's really cool because I can be like, all right, man, there's Blayne, thank you for joining us, blah blah blah, and it's over and we move on down the road with whatever's next. And so I've been Tammy's watching. Tammy Badge is watching, and she's like, I'll bring some banana pudding. She's like, it's almost like like that. The fat guy trap, where they put the stick on. It's a box with the stick on it, and she's got some banana pudding under there, and I'm gonna get stuck in there because they're gonna as soon as I get there, I'm gonna be stuck.
A little bag of candy coming.
Yes, it's crazy. It's like tempting me with banana pudding. I'm like, dude, I'm in on banana pudding, man. It's I love banana pudding. That's my favorite. Like I don't care who makes it. It's my absolute favorite. Katie would be like, let's stop at Buc-ee's. Yes, let's stop at
Let's
Buc-ee's.
do it.
He's like, I can get a banana pudding. And it has a spoon right there, so I don't even have to wait till I get home to eat banana pudding. Banana pudding is delicious.
Yep.
Brandon's like, I had some wreck shit in the studio in Forney. Yes, he did. I had car panels all around the studio in Forney. And I'm pretty sure I gave those to Cole Gosnell.
Oh, yeah.
I gave those to Cole for his room. I had one from Wally, one from Brandon, and I forget who else I had. Just like whole ass car panel on the wall.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. It was pretty rad, man. We had a good time with it. But so here's what I do with all my guests. I always ask them, hey, who are all your sponsors that help make it happen for you for the whole season? And go.
Man, I know I'm gonna forget a handful. We got so many people that helped us out this season.
I need to pull up a picture of your car so we can just read them off the car.
Fine. No, we got KRT Realty, Lone Star Wheel and Tire, Badger Racing Products, K's Custom Cups, Outlaw Race Cars, of course, for putting us together a beautiful car. Synergy, Stephen Ashcraft, he's helped us out big time this season. Right Way Express. Billy Vest with Dirt Defender and Pulse Racing Products are helping us out this season. David Montgomery with Montgomery Sand and Gravel. And Speaks Automotive, he's putting us together a motor. D&W Towing, Del Wester. Man, that's about it. Just everybody that helps. My grandma, my grandpa, my mom, dad, friends, family, everybody that comes out to the track, supports us every weekend. And hopefully we'll have a decent season.
Man, does your dad and your grandpa ever like conflict over how the car should be set up?
No, usually it's my dad that makes all the calls. Like he just, hey, we're gonna do this, this, and that, and we're like, all right, I'll drive it. Papa G will set it up, and we'll just, we just kind of do it like clockwork. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, Dad makes the executive decisions. So.
Oh, he might make the executive decision, but does Papa G like hates? That's dumb. Does he ever
in his head, but he didn't voice it.
Does he ever go Red Foreman on him and go dumbass?
Not yet. It might happen.
He goes straight Red Foreman on him at the end of a race. Told you I wasn't going to work, dumbass.
Oh man, yeah.
And then he's like, "No, that was Blayne's fault." And Blayne's like, "Wait a minute, hold up, bro.
I'm just driving the thing.
I'm just driving the thing, man." Man, I appreciate you jumping on with me, Blayne, man. It's always good to talk to you. Always good to see you, man. I'm going to try to get out to the racetrack soon, but and see if we can sling some triggers. You're going to race Thursday night?
No, we'll probably be in the shop working on the car.
Probably in the shop. Got to get ready to go, man, Saturday night. Unless it starts pouring down the rain, and then you'll be like, all right, we might as well go slot car racing if we ain't going to race this weekend. But, yes, fingers crossed that no rain drops. Hit the ground in Crandall because nobody wants to have their games rained out. Or races rained out. That happened in softball too. Lots of rainouts and reschedules and things like that. I just wish that racetracks were a lot like softball fields these days, man. They don't even play. They play on this turf that it could pour down rain for all day long. As long as you give it 30 minutes, once it stops, it's ready to play on. And I'm like, man, somebody needs to invent dirt like that.
Sure would be nice. I'm telling you.
Wouldn't it though? I think last week's biggest problem with the rain was that, it was a national tour and they all drive those big 18-wheelers and they'd all been stuck in the mud and all that.
If we could just put a big canopy over all the tracks, we'd be all right,
You know how loud that would be if you're in the canopy over the top? Yeah. Like, have you been to the Chili Bowl?
I have.
Like,
well, not the Chili Bowl.
It's like excessively loud. You're like in there going, oh my God, so loud. Yeah.
Get them bass prints out there, little bumblebees, just all day long. You go to the hotel to go to sleep, that's all you hear in your head.
That's all you hear. That's what earbuds are for, man. Or earplugs, bro. Earplugs. I got some that I got, when I was playing music, that you had to literally pull your ear, do this and pull your ear backwards so it opens the thing and you twist them in.
Yep.
You twist them in, and so you can still hear everything clearly, just at a lower volume. And I'm like, those are great. Those are great. So, but man, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on the show, Blayne. And man, if I don't see you Thursday, maybe I'll see you Saturday at the racetrack. Come up and say hi, and I'll be out there in the back 40, getting everybody's information and saying hi and shaking babies and kissing hands as I always do, brother. I appreciate you jumping on with us.
Heck yeah, man! Thank you for having me. I'll see you Saturday night.
Yeah, brother. There you go. There he goes right there. That is Blayne Murphy, driver of the 21M factory stock, man. Beautiful car right here. I'm going to show it one more time. Look at that. You can find him at RPM Speedway this Saturday night, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. When we come back, we are going to talk about what is going on Saturday night other than RPM Speedway. We appreciate you joining us. Here's a word from one of our good friends and presenting this show, East Texas Towers. are back here, and I've already got my screen share up to show you what's going down and what's shaking on Race On. This I always have to pause because I'm so used to calling it Race On Texas, but it's now Race On. And this Saturday night you can check out again the Batesville Motor Speedway Night 2 of the Comp Cam's Super Dirt Series out there. Kennedale Speedway Park out in Kennedale, Texas. The Mike Melton Memorial going on out there if you're on that side of town. Down in at the Cotton Bowl Speedway, the South Texas IMCA Modified Series is going to be in town at Cotton Bowl Speedway. If you aren't in that area and you're not going to go anywhere, but you have a Race On subscription, boom, go check it out right there. This is where I'll be, the regular race program going down Saturday night at RPM Speedway. If you want to watch and listen to what what races we got going on at RPM, and then hear my sultry tones on the microphone, this is where you go. You can also tune into the American Crate Late Model Series Southern Region at Texana Raceway Park. You can watch that out at Rocket. They're going to have the 1,200 to win modifieds going down in Houston Motorsports Park. They got the streetcar races, so check that out. And of course, Boot Hill, the Battle of Boot Hill Night 2 at Super Bowl Speedway. They got the Powder Puff races. And then the Southern States Modifieds will be down at 105 Speedway and at Grayson County Speedway, the Outlaw Modified. So tons of racing to go see if you're in the area of those. But if you cannot go, head on over to our Race On Texas, or raceon.com rather. And then just hit here, I'm going to log out so I can show you guys how to do it. So you can just hit join right here in the upper right-hand corner. You can become a member for $39.99 a month. The cool thing about this is they actually give back to your favorite tracks. So all the member tracks, as you watch them and comment on them and view their races, that all goes back. Not that all, but a lot of that goes back to the racetracks as well. Just fill in your information right here and then continue on and do your secure checkout with your debit or credit card. And then sign up, $40 a month. Man, I tell you what, it's $20 just to get in the gate one night. So $40, well worth it when you can watch racing from all over the place at raceon.com. We want to thank them for 100% hooking us up and employing me as well. You can always see my my recap videos of RPM when the races are over. I usually do those the very, very next day. We got all these cools. First of all, I love all the interaction, all the people commenting and reacting. That does help us with the Facebook and YouTube algorithms. I appreciate you guys so much. Remember, we are on YouTube as well, and as well as Facebook at the same time. So I appreciate you guys. So what I'm going to do is this Saturday, I'm going to get around. I got to get all my sponsor lists up, get all the racers ready to go out at RPM Speedway. I'm hoping that we're going to have a great night of racing. I bet we have after being rained out a couple of times, we're probably going to have a huge race card. Matter of fact, the last time opening night racing at RPM Speedway had right under 100 cars. We raced until past midnight. It was outstanding racing going on that night. I'm super excited that we're going to get back to racing this Saturday night. I was very excited to actually get back to the Dirt Talk Nation and you guys tonight. We'll do this every Wednesday night from now on for the rest of the race season. I don't think there's only 1 week when I'm on vacation that we won't have that, and that will be the week of June 15th. Like, we'll have a racing on June 15th, and then I'm going out of town on June 16th, so we won't have a show that following Wednesday, but we will return the Wednesday after that. Once I get back in town, I'm headed down to Florida to go to the beach that week, and that's just a few weeks away. You guys, I do appreciate it. Everybody who tunes in, listens in, and joins in. Next week, we're going to have Lance Plant. He's going to join the show, and we'll have a few more guests that we're going to get signed on. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys any questions, anything in the comments, you guys drop it in there, and we'll talk about that for the next few minutes before we get out of here. I do want to thank Blayne Murphy, driver of the 21M Factory Stock, for taking the time out to join us on the show tonight. He did a great job, even though we couldn't see his mustache on the camera. He's going to have to grow that out a little bit, or maybe get a little bit of just from in and color it in so that we can actually see the mustache. But it would look really weird considering he's a blondie. So I'm assuming that his mustache is too, but nobody could see it. So sorry, Blayne, we can't see it. So I'm going to need you to grow that out just a little bit more before the next time we get you on camera so we can actually at least see it just a little bit. Anyway, thank you so much for everybody for tuning in, joining in, and listening in the show. I'm so thankful for our friends over at East Texas Towers. I'm super excited for them to be the presenting sponsor of the show. If you have any tower needs, and I mean like if you need a tower for your ham radio, you got a horrible cell phone signal in your area, you need a wireless internet and you live in the country and you need an antenna to make that happen, East Texas Towers. If you guys want merch, you racers who are watching, you want merch, call my friends right here. Well, hold on, I got to figure out how to get it there. Boom, right there. Black Acid Racing Apparel. Find them online at blackacidapparel.com. Tell them you found out about it right here on the Dirt Talk Nation. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I said that out loud because you can actually order your very own Dirt Talk Nation merchandise. Let me go over here to man, I got to shop by driver maybe, and we're gonna see if we can find the Dirt Talk Nation in their list of stuff. I'm pretty sure it's at the very, very, very end, or it's in alphabetical order or some such. Let's see if it's if we come up in the D's here. I'm trying to scroll through it to make sure I show you guys. I should have probably already had pulled up, but we got time, right? We got plenty of time. Let's see, D. There we go. Boom. Let's go over here, and I'm going to share this out real quick. Hold on. Let's go to stop sharing that, and we want to share this screen, right? Boom. Boom. There you go. You can get your very own Dirt Talk Nation merchandise. You got the sweatshirts, the crew neck sweatshirts, the long sleeve t-shirts. Look at the hoodies going on. We're going to have some ball caps on here in the very near future. We're actually going to be working on midsummer. We're going to have some new, what do you call it? Some new designs that would be really, really cool for you guys to get. And but you guys go ahead and this also helps support the show as well. If you want to support some Dirt Talk Nation gear at work, at school, or in the pits, man. Look at that right there. Tank tops right there. It's the summer's coming up, man. It's hot outside, man. Grab you a t-shirt, grab you a tank top. Go ahead and pick you up one of these Dirt Talk Nation hoodies, man. They look really, really sharp. Let's go in here and see what colors we have available to us. Look, oh man, look at all the colors. Got all kinds of different colors, man. You can get a blue one with the Dirt Talk Nation logo, gray, white. It's all good here, man. You all good in the hood. You can check them out. Right here, I'll post a link in the matter of fact, let's go ahead and just do this. I'm gonna put it in the comments for everybody. Bam, there you go. You guys can just get that in the comments and go and pick up some Dirt Talk Nation gear. We appreciate all the support. Man, that yellow, actually, I'm not a yellow fan, but man, that yellow kind of pops. Look at that blue, looks really good as well. So you guys get some Dirt Talk Nation gear, man, and help support the show and help support what we're doing here, trying to bring you great racing content each and every week. I'm going to leave you with one more commercial from our friends at East Texas Towers. I'll wrap it up right after this. Guys, let me flop off of this real boom back here in this and we're gonna stop sharing that screen so everything gets way bigger. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in, joining in, and listening in the Dirt Talk Nation. Make sure that you follow us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, share it out to your friends, families, to your wives, your husbands. We'll be race talking everybody up in here. So I do appreciate everybody and everything that they do to support the show. Head on over to the link I just dropped in the comments there. Get you some Dirt Talk Nation gear, and it'd be awesome to just to see you guys wearing it in the pits. I'll see you guys in the pits and at RPM Speedway this Saturday night, and then we'll be back right here next Wednesday on the Dirt Talk Nation.